great day. You don't actually know if somebody's happy until their life is already lived.
Well, you know, I mean, that's a hell of a way to start a stream. And I figured I'd just, you know, I mean, go live in the middle of you saying that, you know, I mean, like, because I figured that's the best way ever to start a stream is just to go, you know, you never really know whether or not somebody's happy until they're dead. Yo, what up, and welcome to Pinoy News, man. Listen, yo, what a great fucking day to be alive. Legit. You know what I mean? Because apparently, you know what I'm saying, niggas don't know if you happy until you dead. Like, that sounds like some retarded ass white people shit if I ever heard it.
That was the Romans. That was your people, dude.
Yo, look, all right, I'll be real with you, all right? These metropolitan motherfuckers in goddamn Naples and shit were just fucking awful as a whole. Like, yo, you got to get away from.
Always been awful, dude.
They're cancer. They're the cancer of like our fucking human race is cities, right? They're our greatest and our worst motherfucking invention ever. Is, you know what I mean, stacking niggas in a box on top of each other and shit. Then just. You only talk to those other people who live within these giant concrete fucking cages, and you sit there and just act like fucking assholes, and then you become like this terrible, like narcissistic, just fucking human being. What's the word I'm looking for here, man? Fucking nihilist, just horrible nihilist. In the end of the day.
Oh yeah, because you're completely disconnected from nature, so. And that on top of you relying on other human beings constantly, like on a daily basis to just get the shit you need to survive, like the number of people that exist that think that meat is made at the grocery store is unfortunate. Let's just put it that way. I didn't realize that until I went down to San Antonio and lived there for a bit. Of course, all the people who I ended up knowing that didn't know that meat came from animals, they were all from Austin, and that's a different thing entirely. But
how do you not know that meat comes from animals?
They just go to the store and they get the meat. They don't think about it beyond that.
Yeah, no. Like, yo, how is it that you grew up to the point where you can, you know what I mean, go and use money to buy things, right? And not know that meat comes from an animal?
Welfare?
No. There you go. You have to be like, you have to be so detached from the world as a whole to know that fucking meat doesn't, to think that meat doesn't come from animals.
We are on the same page here. I just like,
yo, that's like, yo, I ran, like, you remember Scooby and all them motherfuckers, right?
I try to forget, but yes,
I feel where you are, right? The one time Burnside got in an argument with fucking Vash, right?
Right.
And fucking, like, yo, the argument was whether or not fucking what the hell was it? The argument was that Burnside said that milk didn't come from, or cheese didn't come from cows.
Not directly, but
yo, look,
I see how dumb he is. Yeah.
Yo, look, how do you not know that cheese doesn't come from motherfucking cows? No, so how do you not know that cheese? How do you not know that cheese comes from cows? Like, how do you not know that?
You never had to make any of your own food.
Well, just as an in general thing, like, it's by the milk, so you should know that it's a dairy product.
I do agree with you, but remember, we have American cheese now, and people use that as an excuse to not care about what's in vaccines.
Okay, look, all right. I'll be real with you. I buy American cheese, all right? I like American cheese, right? Fucking, they have the stuff that they give you from the government, right? The WIC stuff, right? Fucking this motherfucking shit is like, yo, hit that Streamlabs link. It's in the motherfucking description. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, hit that link, motherfucker. Donate to the channel. Y'all know the deal, motherfucker. Make sure if you on the way in, you ain't been here before, hit that motherfucking like and subscribe button, man. Listen, it's highly important that, you know, you stand here and subscribe to the channel so that we can grow this, you know what I mean, grow this message out to people because it's important. But anyway, right? Like, yo, the stuff they give you from WIC is actually cheese, right? It's real. It's like the American cheese they give you, that deluxe stuff. It's real cheese, right? like it melts and it's fucking great. Like I don't know if you ever like bought that like stuff. It comes in like a blue packet and it's not pre-wrapped or anything. You know what I mean?
No, I haven't specifically.
You should try it sometime. Yo, it's amazing on potatoes, right?
That just sounds like a walking way to turn into AP, but
yo, look, all right, that's not how that works. All right, legitimately, like yo, you have to live, you know what I'm saying, a hard life to become AP, like in the end of the day, like real shit. Like, you have not, if you don't exercise, you become AP. Like it doesn't matter how skinny you are, like, or you need to get off your ass and go motherfucking take a walk or go do some shit at least like 3-4 times a week. That'll stop you from becoming AP.
Yeah, my rule of thumb is 45 minutes of exercise a day.
Yo, yeah, it's important. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you fucking get out there and exercise. I've been slacking on my pimping. I've been goddamn working and shit. But anyway, right? So, yo, man, listen. Fucking speaking of Texas, did motherfuckers stand here and hear about what's going on down in the motherfucking border right now?
Let me guess, another caravan? Or are you talking about how the governor of Texas is fucking disavowing Gab?
Well, I didn't hear about him disavowing Gab, but fucking apparently there's like 4,600 unaccompanied children a day showing up at the border.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. I mean, they did. Well, basically, DACA's back in place now. You know, since that's how executive orders work. One president can put them in place. The next president can't take them off, but then the next president can put it back in place again. But yeah, the governor has said that Gab is an anti-Semitic website.
Well, let's be honest here, all right? Yo, for the most part, Gab is an anti-Semitic website. Like, can we call a spade a spade? You know what I'm saying? Legitimately.
I mean, yes, but if you want to do that, you also have to call Twitter an Antifa website.
Yo, we always call Twitter a fucking left-wing website, though.
Yeah, but like that's not the conversation that's going to end up happening. Let's be real here. Like, and let's also not forget that Richard Spencer, A, endorsed Joe Biden, and B, gets play on Twitter all the time. So I don't think calling Gab an anti-Semitic website is necessarily fair, just because for the same reason why I don't necessarily call a fairgrounds a place where you can what's a good thing here? I lost track of my thought there, but
I feel where you are. I feel where you are. I'll be losing track of my thought. My fucking train be getting derailed. Like niggas be putting like 50-cent pieces on the track all the goddamn time and just derailing the shit out of my train of thought. But like, yeah, like I completely understand. But like, here's the thing. Like, I know that Twitter is a left-wing website, right? I also know that Gab is an anti-Semitic website. I'm not even going to call it right-wing. Legitimately, because it's not like it's not advocating for like a king or royalty. You know what I mean? Like, no, like they're not like actual like fucking fascists and shit on the goddamn site. They're just anti fucking Jewish, because basically they're dirty white people who blame Jews. Everybody has a boogeyman in their fucking as far as their people are concerned, right? Black people blame white people. You know what I'm saying? Poor white people blame Jewish people. Jewish people blame fucking like all of white people. You know what I mean? Like everybody has a goddamn boogeyman at the end of the day. That's just how it works. So like, I don't understand why it is we can't have this conversation and go, you're all fucking retarded and we need to stop fucking saying this shit, because like, legitimately, it's not black people that are holding white people down. It's not fucking Jewish people who are holding fucking, it's not white people holding black people down. It's not Jewish people holding fucking white people down. And obviously it's not the whites who are holding the Jews down, because the Jews run shit. You know what I mean? At the end of the day.
Right. But let's also be completely real here, where some of those narratives have more validity than others, even though they're all bullshit. Like, there are shades of gray even in there.
Yeah, I feel you. Right. There is shades of gray, but like, unfortunately we have a media who's not willing to hold a nuanced conversation about anything. They want to like combine everything into 30-second sound bites that niggas can regurgitate on a regular basis, which again, fucking retarded. And it aggravates me to no end where we can't have a real actual discussion about anything unless it's like at Sunday at 10 o'clock in the morning on some fucking local channel where you discuss, you know what I'm saying, actual politics for an hour. Which, by the way, I respect the shit out of people who do it, but even then they have a lot of stuff that they refuse to touch, which annoys the shit out of me.
Well, yeah, that's because like there are broadcasting standards at stations and all that kind of nonsense. People aren't trying to get fired.
Well, yeah, you know what I mean? Like and on top of that, like there's only so much of the social norm that you're allowed to put on fucking TV because of the fact that like people are not going to get behind things, right? Like I can stand here, for instance, I was like, you know, I do reactions and shit on my other channel. And like, I sit here and I watch other people reacting, you know, because like, you know, I like these type of things because I'm fucking retarded and I'm basically a monkey, you know what I mean? At the end of the day. And fucking, there was these two dudes reacting to this fucking Hobson song, right? And the song was about his baby's mother, right? And his fucking, like, it was, you know what I mean, standing here and like how his baby's mom fucking pressed fake charges on him, you know what I mean, and kept him from being able to see his son being born and he hasn't been able to meet his son and all this type of shit, right? And like these dudes is like, well, you know, there's always two sides, or three sides of a story. There's his side, her side, and the truth, right? And I'm like, why is it that when like a dude's a piece of shit, a dude's just a piece of shit, but when a female does something fucked up, we have to like stand here and go, oh, but you know, da 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 da, you know, like fucking every like you know fucking, or when a woman fucks up, like, oh yeah, you know, but the man probably fucked up too. Like, why can't we just have like, yo, fucking the dude's bad, or we have the females being bad? Why can't we have both of those at the same time? Like, why can't we stand here and hold everybody to fuck accountable? And having that basic conversation stands here and makes motherfuckers go like, oh, well, you know. Fucking you must hate women, or you're fucking angry at females and all this dumb shit. It's like, no, because like, yo, it's fucking complete hypocrisy in every goddamn level, and it affects me in my everyday fucking life. Like, why is it I have to be held to a higher standard than somebody else's, but you want to tell me that they're equal to me? How the fuck does that goddamn work?
It works because women's fees are more important than reality.
Well, I feel what you're saying, right? But on the same point, why is it that like dudes continue to stand here and propagate this fucking bullshit?
It's because if they stand up and say, you know, this is bullshit, then they end up, you know, getting flack from their mom, getting flack from their wife, getting flack from their sister, all these types of things. And, you know, you can say that, you know, you should ride or die on truth, which I do believe that you should, but the issue is that women are the enforcers of the social norms, and so if they've been in this like diluted bubble their whole life where reality hasn't really touched them because we've built walls upon walls upon walls around all these people, not just women, people in general, to keep anything dangerous away from them, then they're just going to be like Bubble Boy, where they don't have any, their immune system, so to speak, is just going to go crazy at the very presence of something normal. Like, imagine we took some dude from the founding of America, you know, early 1800s, right?
Right.
And we just dumped him in on a college campus today. Like, even saying that the dude's pretty learned, pretty literate, say he went to Oxford or whatever the fuck, that dude is going to be a straight up savage compared to everyone else there. And you're going to have a lot of people scared of him just because he does basic shit that nobody else has even had to think about for a long time. Like the fact that he mends his own clothes type thing. Well, that wouldn't be a dude thing, but the fact that he has skin that actually does something to protect you instead of having paper from living indoors all day. These things are going to make this thing look like this person look like an absolute monstrosity, and it's just because we've been so successful. We've been too successful.
Well, let me say this, right? I put this Jonah from Cosmo, fucking to digest what they don't understand. Court settles these things. Yeah, yo, look, here's the problem, right? And I have an issue with this fucking ideology that fucking we should just let court fucking solve everything that every problem we have in society, right? Legitimately, like, yo, just because the English common law system, you know what I'm saying, says that it's this way, it doesn't mean that, like, yo, that's what it should be as a cultural norm, especially amongst men altogether, right? So, like, if you're standing here having a conversation, you know what I'm saying, with another dude as a whole, you're just like by yourselves or whatever, you know, I'm like, fucking, you're in a room with somebody else. You're not in some social situation. You're not whatever. You still have dudes standing here supporting the complete and utter hypocrisy of things that doesn't make any fucking sense for them to do so. Right? It makes absolutely no sense for them to continue to defend the fucking point that they're defending. And you stand here and you go, well, like, you do realize that what you're saying is completely and utterly retarded, right? And the guy goes, well, no, you know what I'm saying? Da, da, da. And you go and you fucking point out all the ways that he's fucking wrongs and shit. You know what I'm saying? And the dude continues to defend his fucking point just because this is something that has been ingrained into his fucking head and he refuses to fucking, you know what I mean, stop accepting it. And this is the type of shit that I'm talking about, where as human beings, we should have the ability to stand here and, you know, I mean, change our paradigms and our ways of looking at things as we grow older. Like, it's just something that we should do. We should always stand here and do what we should always stand here and grow as human beings. And by the way, what up, Finn McCool, Prime Movers, motherfucking Cosmo, Silver Eagle. Hold up, see everybody, what everybody up in the chat, motherfucking. Hold up, we got Dan the Defiant out there, Dingleberry Pie, my brother Underdog, and Evil Dead Ed. What up, man? Welcome everybody. It's nice to see y'all out here and shit. You know what I mean? And it's, for me, it's a terrible way of living as a human being. You know what I'm saying? Just as a whole, legit. You know what I mean? It's like, I think you should always be growing. I think you should always stand here and become a better person. You know what I mean? Like, it's just that simple. Like, as a human being, we should always be growing and learning and looking and seeing, going, oh man, well, this is terrible. And I mean, well, this fucking process that we started isn't cool. And because of the fact that we change laws on a regular basis that, you know what I mean, adjust the way that we live as human beings, like, they're basically experiments to see how that law is going to end up working out in practice. And if it doesn't work, it's something that should be taken away or replaced. You know what I mean? Like, if something doesn't work and it's making shit worse for our society as a whole, like, we need to stop throwing good money after bad about, you know what I mean, whatever the fuck that practice is.
Yeah, but that's requiring boomers especially to understand the sunk cost fallacy is you're going up the wrong road on that one. You're never going to get that to stick, because the big thing is that when you're dealing with these types of arguments, there's a massive sunk cost fallacy you have to overcome in the perception of everyone, because what's happened is they've lived with this being the ordained truth passed down to them for their entire lives, basically. And by admitting this other thing, which is objectively true, they're going to have to admit that they have been wrong for like their entire life, which, you know, I've done that on multiple occasions where I've had to just sit down and say, well, I guess I've been wrong my whole life. But, you know, I was in an academic field where it was normal to do that, and it's not normal not to do that, because in physics, you know, it's completely normal for you to find out that something you thought was true is completely wrong. That's just not something that normal people really feel like doing on a regular basis, because it's not a comfortable feeling.
Okay, all right, hang on, let me ask this to Cosmo real quick. All right, first off, I'm gonna say no, we don't need a court. And secondly, check this out. This is a beautiful ideology. Has the court system made anything better? Right? Has shit gotten better using it?
Not my lifetime.
Think about that. Has anything gotten better using the courts? All right, let's keep going. Anyway, right? Like, like, and this is the fucking point. Like, these are the type of ideologies that like you have to go, man. Listen, like if something don't work, maybe it's broken, right? Like, maybe we shouldn't be using it. Like, this is kind of that whole mentality. It's like, all right, well, okay. Here's a crazy thought. So all these dudes all over the country and shit who lost their jobs to the 1970s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s, right? And with, you know what I'm saying, all the mills closing down or whatever the case is. When all this shit happens, Johnny Boy, what up, man? Welcome. Right? When all this stuff standing here, how do I put this? With all these jobs closing down, instead of helping the dudes, we hand the money to the women, and then fucking like the dude has to goddamn leave, and the women keep the kids and the money. Right? Well, here's the thing. Maybe the problem isn't the money. Maybe the problem is the fact that, you know what I'm saying? Stand here. Hang on, wait. Maybe you can stand here and stop. Maybe you can give it to the dudes who lost their jobs, who are the individuals who actually need the money, and will require that women would stay with them, right, in order to be with their children. Yeah, and the family unit would stay intact.
Yeah, but if you do that, you can't turn them into tax cattle.
Right, but I'm saying though, you know what I mean? And like, by hook or crook, most dudes will stand here, you know what I mean? Like, all right, so Cosmo, here's the thing. I don't have a problem with liability law as far as standing here, like, we're talking about guys drinking and driving and running over people and things of this nature, and actual individuals who are harmed through real processes. But as far as using the courts to stand here and solve every problem on the fucking planet, in our fucking society, that's wrong. It's not, we don't need the court for every problem in our fucking society, right?
Right.
We need the court for criminal justice, right? Like, that's important. But here's the thing. We don't even use it for that, right? We stand here like, 97% of all cases that go in front of a fucking court are fucking plea bargained, right? If every man stood here and if every citizen who got charged with a crime took the fucking option to go to trial, everybody would just end up getting off. Because our courts would just be so overloaded from them charging everybody with a fucking crime. And I'm saying this, maybe we don't need all the laws we have. Maybe we don't need courts involved in every bad thing that fucking happens in the world, right? And here's another piece of this. I don't think insurance companies should be able to take anybody to court. That's another one as well. Like, I think if you're going to insure somebody, you're the one that takes that fucking risk in fucking insuring that individual. And maybe you should vet people better as far as things are concerned. And if they can't fucking catch insurance, then maybe we don't need to have laws that say you have to have insurance for things. Right? Because like in the end of the day, like that's half the problem with our society as a whole is the fact that we let insurance companies run our fucking government. Right. And again, and this all stems from the goddamn court system. Right. And this is something that, you know what I'm saying, needs to be having a conversation about. I think everything in our society is up for debate. All of it. Every ounce of our fucking society has to be up for debate right now because none of it works. There's not a part of our fucking government structure that fucking works, including courts. Legitimately. Right? Like, because your criminal justice system is fucking trash. Right? It literally is like, I've been through the criminal justice system and I know a lot of people who go through the criminal justice. It's fucking garbage. Legitimately. Like, I've stood here and watched fucking young children get railroaded by goddamn fucking criminal court systems. And I've watched people get sold into goddamn fucking slavery as fucking children. I was fucking one of them through the court system. Our court system is completely broken and legitimately, you know what I'm saying? My humanitarian view is not actually feasible when you know that. It is feasible, right? Because it worked before, you know what I'm saying, the 1920s. Like what I'm talking about is how this fucking country was set up to originally run and not what we have right now. Legitimately, right? And it's not like I'm not trying to push like some crazy, Antifa, fucking, anarchical system. It's not that. Like, I want to go back to how things are supposed to be run. Like, we're supposed to be fucking responsible for ourselves. Like, your rights and freedoms are supposed to be tied to your responsibility in the end of the day, right? And I don't think that we should have courts involved with individuals getting divorced as a whole. Like the court and the state should not be. The state shouldn't even be involved in marriage to begin with.
And how?
Like, Jesus fucking Christ! Like, why am I even having to argue this fucking point? Like, yo, why is the state involved in your marriage? Like, why is the state involved in your personal life as a whole? Why? Somebody please explain that to me.
It's because mission creep.
Like, yo, like why? Because some piece of shit wasp cocksucker stood there and said that it's a good fucking idea, right? Like, yo, that they wanted to stand here and control the poor part of the population.
I mean, I'm sure that was at least part of the idea at some point. But at this point, the reason is because women want it and women are half of the electorate.
Well, I think it's just momentum at this point.
Oh, definitely. Almost all empires are momentum after like first 50 years or so.
Right. It's literally just running off momentum. Right. It's like, we're not changing things because like there's too many people relying upon the thing.
Right.
And I mean, and Cosmo, if you want to come join in and have a conversation, like, yo, you're fucking more than welcome. The link is in my Discord. Like, I always put the link to the streams in the Discord channel. So anybody can come in whenever you want to and have a conversation with us. And I'm more than willing to listen to anything you have to say about it. And we can have a real conversation about this because I think it's fucking important. I think everything should be up for debate. There is nothing in our fucking system as a whole that should not be up for debate completely. I don't care what it is. Like, yo, all of it needs to be reformed. All of it needs to be fucking rechecked and gone through and seen whether or not it's worth having anymore. And I get the fact that, like, yo, we should have a fucking court for criminal justice because, yes, vigilante fucking justice is not proper. And there needs to be, fucking criminals held liable for what the fuck it is they do wrong. And I fucking fully agree with that. But do I think we should, I'm saying, this is right. Fucking, I don't think you should stand here and have like people, enacting justice upon themselves. But on the same point, I don't think everybody should be turned into a fucking criminal in this country for just living their fucking lives.
Well, you're too late on that one. It's something like 3 or 4 felonies a day that you commit just going about your business. Not you specifically, but
yeah, everybody as a whole. Yeah, everyone as a whole, you can commit like fucking 4 felonies a day on some nonsense, right? Because just on the federal level, there's between 50,000 and 100,000 laws and nobody knows, right? And then throughout the fucking land, there's billions of laws and nobody has any idea what the count really is.
Yeah. Same with our tax code. Like the IRS has no idea how long even the tax code is, but they'll sure as shit let you know if you need to pay some more money.
You're not wrong. Legitimately. You know what I'm saying? Fucking yo, hold up. I gotta check Streamlabs real quick. Hang on a second. We gotta stand here and fucking get into this joint. Hold up. Streamlabs. Hold up. Somebody just donated. Motherfucking gotta make sure I pop this bitch in and shit. Because I'll be honest with you, I usually don't have many fucking people donating and shit on a regular basis anymore. It used to be way more that we had coming in. Legit. We used to have a whole lot more stuff coming in all the goddamn time, but like fucking man, that shit died. Shouting at Clouds, what up, man? Welcome. You know what I'm saying? Nice to see you out here. And Psycho, nice to see you out here as well. All right, hold up. Let's see here. Okay. Oh, Shining at Clouds donated $5, man. Thank you very much. It's appreciated, my brother. Right? Motherfucker, make sure you hit that Streamlabs link. You know what I'm saying? Donate to the channel. Show some love out here for what we do. Because I put a lot of work in for y'all. Bring y'all a lot of decent information as far as I'm concerned. And try to help individuals out and get y'all financial abilities about y'all. Plan for y'all future and make y'all, hopefully a little bit better men by listening to me. That's kind of the whole point. And we do need to bring back Silver Eagle. I agree with you. Do need to bring back like dueling and shooting people. I think that's important. Volunteerism, Dingleberry Pie. Yes. TK, man, how you feel about volunteerism?
It's pie in the sky ideology that'll never actually work because
I think we're based on volunteerism though.
Except no, because you don't volunteer to be born. Like your
No, come
existence
on,
is
man.
not.
Get past that basic premise. Like, yo,
Yeah,
anything you deal with as an adult, you should have to deal with that of volunteer nature, which is what our whole society is based off of, right? But the only problem is like, you know, the volunteerism now has been taken away through these laws that have been passed that say you have to actually conduct business with, you know what I'm saying, somebody in order to, you know what I mean, fucking have your basic liberties to move around society.
I feel you, and I definitely like I wish the ideology could work, but the issue is that you can't have voluntarism when, you know, whatever society that you end up being in, you start out in without any choice. Like you're telling me to get past it, but it's kind of the beginning and ending of the possibility of it actually realistically working, because you're going to constantly get new people thrown into the mix here who didn't volunteer to be a part of whatever system you got set up. That's why I am was it Benjamin Franklin who said that every 50 years they should just burn down all the laws and start from scratch? It's not a bad idea. But even then, if you've got like some sort of purge type system, you're also not asking it, like you can't volunteer to get thrown into that. So that's my issue with voluntaristic societies. But you know, if you want to somehow adjust for the fact that life isn't fair, life isn't something you volunteer for, then something that is based on voluntaristic principles is it's probably got better grounds to it than a lot of other stuff, but that doesn't mean that it's not, at the end of the day, mostly just ideological and not something that necessarily works.
Well, like well, here's my thing. I enjoy the idea of having volunteerism, right? Justin Coon, welcome, my brother. Nice seeing you out here. Right. I do. I like the ideology of, you know what I'm saying, us having the opportunity to say no to things, right? Mm-hmm. Like in the end of the day, like that's what life should really be about. Life is about you making the choices about what you're supposed to do. And I was having this conversation last night with a fucking friend of mine. I was sitting here talking with him and I said, yo, look, the idea, like I have a problem with Google having preferred stock, right? And the reason why I have a problem with Google having preferred stock is because of the fact that I can't buy it, right? Right. And like, so my issue is that if I decide that, you know what I mean, I don't want to invest in the market and I don't want to stand here and have an opportunity to invest and make my money work for me, then I should probably, you know what I'm saying, suffer the consequences for that. But if as long as I have that option, I'm cool. Right? Like you have to have an option to be able to opt out. And that's where this volunteerism fucking is really positive as far as my mentality concerned. As long as everything is voluntary that I'm doing. My problem comes down to, like, for instance, you know, if I drive a car, I have to have insurance. If I don't have insurance, I have to pay a tax penalty at the end of the year for not having health insurance. If I stand here and want to be able to, you know what I'm saying, see my kids, I have to go deal with a court system, right?
Right.
Like this is not voluntarism at that point, right? That there is me being obligated to have to deal with something in order just to live my basic fucking life every day. And that's my fucking problem. I don't want to be held captive. I want to have an option to be able to do what it is that I want to do.
Right. And I am very sympathetic to basically any sort of ideology that is trying to maximize or at least provide for some amount of personal liberty. The issue is where, like, there are certain things that you can't opt out of, like the traditional joke is that there are only two things in this life that you have to do, and that's pay taxes and die.
Right.
Right. So
I'm sorry. I'm handing out wrenches right now. Right.
Gotcha. But no, I thought I heard myself talking in the background.
You did. Fucking, I turned on the fucking joint. Oh shit, Cosmo doesn't have a fucking wrench either. Like, man, listen, where y'all niggas come from, man? I know motherfucking wrenches and shit. All right, cool. Like, yo, yeah, but anyway, fucking, yeah, make sure everybody gets a wrench in my chat. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, I don't want anybody to ever be silenced. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure that everybody has the opportunity to, like, have their voice be heard. I think it's highly important, right?
Right. But anyway. The other thing there is that you can't have volunteerism, at least in the truest, strictest sense of the term, when you have standing armies, right? Because, like, you will want to opt out of paying for that army even while you're under its protection. Is kind of the deal there.
Okay, well, like, here's my thing, right? Like, and I've always, you know what I'm saying? I've always stood here and had the mentality, and I've always spoken about this, is that you need government. In the end of the day, like, I'm not talking about, like, you know, like, we shouldn't have a government as a whole, right? Like, right. But, like, my problem, like, I understand fully that we need government. Like, in its basic essence, you have to have somebody willing to protect you from the individuals around you who are going to invade you, right? You know, because at the end of the day, like, people are going to come take your shit. At the end of the day, you're going to have individuals to guard you while you sleep, right? And I don't have a problem with that either. So, like, you know, the idea that I'm going to stand here and, you know, I mean, fucking, you know, pay for, like, all this motherfucking, like, all the shit for the government that does for the basic premises of what I'm supposed to fucking have as a human being just to live here. I have no problem with going, all right, well, you know, you have to pay a certain amount of your income for that. But right. I have a problem when you're taking my fucking money and giving it to somebody else while telling me that I have to prop up a business, you know what I'm saying, that legitimately probably isn't going to protect me in the end of the day when something bad happens. You know what I'm saying? Like car insurance or fucking health insurance or whatever the case is. Like, if I have health insurance and I still have a $45 fucking copay at a goddamn doctor, why is it that I have a fucking health insurance plan? And AP, what up, nigga?
Hey, what up, AP? But that type of ideology is actually why I was suggesting for you to read or listen to Starship Troopers. The movie's kind of meh, but what we're going through with all this nonsense is what very similar to what that author described as the rule by the scientists and the child psychologists. And basically his prediction on what's going to happen in the near future here is shit's just going to keep getting worse until veterans take over. And that happens after a bunch of rioting basically burns the whole place to the ground. Now, as for his particular solutions, I think he's on the right path as far as the ideology is service guarantees citizenship. You only get to call shots on the government, in the government, after you've put your life on the line for the country that you're talking about there, right? And you have to serve a certain amount of military service, which
right.
it is your right.
I think that's a good way to do it.
Right. But the critical thing there is that they make the military service uncomfortable. You can quit at any time, but, like, especially in peacetime, it is your, you know, sergeant or whoever's job just to make your service as unpleasant as humanly possible. At one point in time, they say if you were blind and deaf, they will still find something for you to do that you will not like for, you know, however many years. But, you know, if you choose to quit at any time, you can quit. But the thing is, you have to suffer to actually blood in, blood out type thing. I don't know where else I'm going with that, but
yo, blue collar cannot, Captain Falcon, what up? I feel where you are, right? And like, I've always said, like, if I was setting up the government as a whole, you know, I mean, I stand here and make sure, like, as far as voting is concerned, like, and this is a lot of the problem with the government is the fact that we have universal suffrage, right? And that's a fucking dumb idea as a whole. Like, we shouldn't have people voting who don't have any stake, right? Like if you're not paying any taxes into the government, you shouldn't be fucking voting, right? Like it's just a basic ass fucking premise. Like you have to have some type of skin in the game in order to be able to vote. And that has always been a rule in any goddamn government. Like that was the whole purpose of, no taxation without representation. You know what I mean? Like if you're not being represented as a whole, you shouldn't be standing here. You're like, if you're not being represented, then they're still taking from you. Like, why is it that, you don't have a right to argue against that? Right.
I feel you. I honestly think that they should have, they were real big on that no taxation without representation thing, but I really wish they would have picked up, the opposite a little bit too. No representation without taxation. Like,
right. Justin Coon, no. All right. I'll be honest with you. A woman who has a child at 16, that baby is going to be way better than a fucking woman who has a baby at fucking 35. Okay. Like, it's just in general, as far as the physical ability of that fucking kid who was born is going to be much better. Right. So, like, yeah, we shouldn't have a minimum age to breed. Just keeping that all the way 100. Right. And yeah, so like the point is this. All right. Well, number one, like I think that yes, if you go and you serve the fucking military, right? Fucking you shouldn't stand here and have or you should be able like to always have the right to vote, right? That would be like number one on the list. And that should have been wrote into the Constitution. Right. It should have been anybody who serves in the military has the right to vote. Anybody who pays taxes has the right to vote. And that should have been the rule. There shouldn't have been no, white males, fucking all that nonsense, all that fucking dumb shit. It shouldn't have been black males or 3/5 of a person, all that stupid. That should have been.
That was slaves. That was
be honest. Shit. I know that's the dumbest shit though. Like legitimately, as long as you're a male and you're fucking, as long as you're paying taxes, as long as you have a job and you're employed and you're paying taxes, you should have a right to vote and your vote should count. It's that fucking simple.
You're not wrong, but you also have to realize that when you're making a new nation, from scratch, it's really, really tough to take a step back and see what it is that you're doing dumb if you've just been doing it forever. It's kind of like, well, basically they were prey to the same issues that we're having here, where a lot of slave owners were just like, we've had slaves forever, but slavery is good. What are you talking about? The same way.
But like, Thomas Jefferson admitted that slavery was fucking terrible and he owned slaves.
Yeah.
Like he's like Thomas Jefferson literally said that slavery was an abomination.
Yeah, Thomas Jefferson was also one of the smartest men in his time.
He was one of the smartest men who's ever lived. Get nothing misunderstood about Thomas Jefferson. That dude was fucking brilliant.
Okay, I did undersell it there a little bit, but
don't sell my man. Sure, that's one of my favorite goddamn historical figures of all time. Right.
I still like Isaac Newton just because he invented calculus while hiding from the plague.
Yeah, I feel you. Oh, and Justin, yeah, I know this, right? Like, fucking Justin Coon. Here's the thing. The 13th Amendment did not outlaw slavery. It literally says no man should be made a slave without fucking due process of the court, right? So, like, you could still be made into a slave if the court decides that you're a slave, right? Like, legitimately. That's why they still have all that bullshit. Psycho, I like Thomas Sowell, too, but I'll be honest with you. I would never put him on Jefferson's level or... Like, again, like I have certain historians I really like. I like Locke. I like Machiavelli. I like Jefferson. I think Thomas Paine was a great thinker, but I wasn't a big fan of a lot of his ideologies, even though I know he was fucking retarded smart. Mm-hmm. Augustus, fucking Socrates, Plato, right? All these individuals were goddamn brilliant and shit. At the end of the day, right?
Right. How do you say his name? Sun Tzu or whoever wrote the Art of
Sun Tzu. Yeah, Sun Tzu. Yeah, he was fucking brilliant too. But the thing is, there's arguments about whether or not he actually existed.
I mean, we're at this point. Does it really fucking matter?
Yeah, it kind of does.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it kind of like to call the dude the smartest dude. One of the smartest dudes in the history. He has to have existed.
Well, yes and no. Like Do you mean the person who wrote The Art of War, or do you mean Sun Tzu himself as a person? Because that's two different conversations, right? Because obviously someone wrote The Art of War.
Someone did, right? That's the thing, is someone did, but we're not sure whether or not Sun Tzu was an actual real person.
Right. So my point is, whoever wrote it was a very smart person.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, like, that's kind of, I mean, like, in the end of the day, like, fucking, like, we don't know whether or not he was even, like, actually existed as a whole, like, because there's arguments that, say that, like, Sun Tzu was actually fucking an emperor, a fucking king or a lord or some shit, writing under a pseudonym, right? And there's actually arguments that some of Machiavelli's work was fucking from other historians who didn't want to have their names printed at that time as well, right? Which, because, like, the fucking Catholic Church and, all the nonsense with being, put in fucking chains for heresy and all that type of shit.
We need to bring that back, to be honest.
Like, that's kind of the deal. Well, Psycho, it's a historian argument, right? Like, they don't know whether or not he was an actual real person, right? Like, they don't know, like, whether or not he was, like, he's a real thing. It's just like, who the fuck was it? There's a couple historical figures, like King Arthur, for instance. Like, nobody has any idea, like, whether or not King Arthur actually really existed as a whole. Right. It's kind of like one of those made up figures that might be like a collaboration of other figures. Like, there's, I think, Charlemagne, there's like a bunch of people throughout history who, like, are written into the history, but in the end of the day, you're not real sure whether or not they existed. Or like Homer, right, from the Iliad. No idea if he was a real person, that type of shit.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't know that Troy was a real place until not too long ago, really. I think we just found it like 20 years ago, wasn't it?
1980s, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
So,
I mean, that's kind of the deal. Like, there's a lot of that throughout history as far as things are concerned. You know what I'm saying? Iliad was a bitch read. Yo, you want to read something really hard? Go read an original copy of The Rights of Man. Right, not like a modern translation. Go read like the original shit. Yo, it's Old English in a French accent. Like, yo, that shit is a fucking hard read. Legitimately, that is a tough fucking read right there. Or go read Tolstoy. Yo, you want to read a dry, long, dumb book? Go read Tolstoy. Like, everybody's like, it's a classic. Shut up. Fucking that book was retarded fucking long for no goddamn reason whatsoever. Right?
So is most of Ayn Rand's stuff, to be honest.
Yo, man, listen, let me put this like this with Ayn Rand, all right? I'm not even gonna I don't want to shit on Ayn Rand, but I wasn't as big a fan of most of her work as far as shit's concerned.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, if you want to read some shit that will explain like libertarian ideologies, in the end of the day, go read Thomas Paine. You know what I mean? Like, go read Thomas Paine, go read, you know what I'm saying, fucking trying to think here. Who else? Go read Jefferson's works and shit. You know what I mean? Because if you want to understand libertarian ideologies, that's really where it's at the end of the day. Right? Because, like, these are not just enlightenment, but this is the result of the Enlightenment and individuals who are truly free and have fuck you money being able to stand here and write about freedom as a whole. And that will give you a much better ideology about fucking libertarianism and what libertarianism could and should, and the different schools of how it works. Right? Because I don't like a lot of parts of libertarianism, like in particular the open borders part of it. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I've heard a
Hops. Yo, Hops is good. Yeah, Hans Herman
Hoppe.
Hops. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, read him. He's fucking great.
Yeah. So the thing about immigration and open borders that a lot of libertarians get wrong is that a lot of them make the mistake of assuming that unused property is just free property. So, like, when they see like government land here in the US, they think that should just be free to whoever should use it. But that's not the case. Everybody agreed not to use it earlier, and so that was first use. So it's property held in common. It's not unowned property, and that's a massive distinction. Just kind of like how illegal immigration, that is trespassing on commonly held ground. That's still a property crime. It's just a property crime against everyone who lives there instead of the one particular property owner.
Right. I mean, like, here's my problem. All right. So my issue is I'm a Machiavellian guy, right? That's the type of person I am. So in the end of the day, when I look at society as a whole, I look at it from a God perspective, right? I look at it as a whole giant working organism, right? Like a giant working clock. And I understand that you have to have freedom for everybody and do the best you can as a government to set up the best opportunities you can for your citizens, right?
Right.
And so therefore, like there's a delicate balance when you start talking about labor cost versus, you know what I'm saying, actual like fucking labor fucking supply, right? And so when you start talking about fucking labor supply versus labor costs, like you have this argument of where you go, all right, if we have too many people, the cost of labor goes too low, and therefore your citizens will, the large majority of your citizens will suffer, but the top end of your citizens will make a shit ton of money. Right. And we've been leaning on that in this neoliberal world order as far as things are concerned for the past like 30 or 40, 50 years or so, where we've been standing here putting people into 401ks, commodifying. No, commodifying. Commoditizing. Yeah, we'll go with commoditizing, right? The fucking public debts and things of this nature, putting them in the bond markets and having developing them into equity where, you rely on the top, 5 to 10% of earners to actually pay the bills of your country, right, through the forces of the actual equity market as far as things are really concerned, right? So when you have these types of fucking thought patterns, like it works as long as you have exponential growth, right? Where if you have an exponential growth of population, you can always have more loans, more people, more fucking less, less cost for the labor, more goods being sold, so an exponential growth in your economy as a whole. But the problem, securitization, we'll go with that, right? Securitizing all the fucking loans and shit, right?
Oh, yeah.
I was sitting there thinking, like, are you commoditizing them? Like, I was sitting there thinking about fucking what word it was, right? But securitizing all the fucking loans. Thank you, sir. It's appreciated, right? My vocabulary is good, but it's, sometimes I reach when I get like to the end of my ability to, actually grasp words. So the thing is you'll have all these, like all the government debt is based inside of the equity markets and the bond market. So it's paid for by, giant multinational corporations' earnings. But the thing is once you have less people being born and you have slower growth as far as your population, that exponential growth ideology has to stop. Right. And therefore, then you have to start having this conversation of, well, actually, and on top of that, you're running to this brick wall where you go, all right, there's only so much real estate, inside of the industrialized centers, and you'll end up having rising, costs of like fucking, housing and things of this nature for your workers. And when that happens, you'll end up having the problem of where, now you're going to end up having welfare programs to be able to help the workers survive. And then you're putting more money and you're securitizing more government debt into the markets as a whole to be able to pay for all this shit that's concerned. And then like you're having less and less money coming in from the bottom, and it's more and more money being paid by the top. And it turns into, fucking like, yo, Full Metal Joker, what up, man? Welcome, my brother. Full Metal Joker actually went and got a job and fucking like his own place, and he's getting it done. I'm really proud of him. I just want to say that right now. I'm telling you in front of everybody, I'm super proud of you, man. Right. But so when you have these ideologies, and this is the neoliberal mentality about things, and this is why, like, I hate the news because they can't have this conversation with y'all, right? And I think it's important to have this conversation. This is why I say everything's up for grabs at the moment, because not only are we having rising prices in real estate and assets and all these things, and, you know, I mean, commodities as a whole, you're also having the problem of Captain D's nuts. Welcome, my brother. Right. You're also having the problem of where, you know, you have more people coming in driving down wages because you have to keep the wages low in order to keep the fucking system going. And it's not working out for the, you know, I mean, about like every year, like more and more people fall into poverty, you know, I mean, as far as things are really concerned, just due to the fact, like, even though we have, it's all relative, right? Like when they go, oh man, this is a first world country, you know, you have first world problems and all this dumb shit. Well, think about it like this, right? Like if you went to, like, say, you know, I don't know, fucking Indonesia or some shit, or fucking some, you know what I mean, bumfuck backwater country, you know what I mean, like the Congo, you can get a goddamn piece of land for $20 on some shit, right? You can't do that in America. It's all fucking, it's like all them guys, like, even though they're earning like $100 a year, their rent's only like $60 or $50. Like, it may be more than yours, but it's still like on the same level as yours, because the average mortgage right now is like, you know what I mean, $2,000, $3,000 a fucking month. And individuals are earning $4 or $5 grand a month. It's kind of the same. It's all, you know what I mean, the same type of shit, right? So it's all fucking relative. And when, you know, I mean, you have more people in America falling down underneath the poverty line, you have to have that conversation about whether or not it's better to fucking stand here and support the upper crusty of society or the lower. You know what I mean? That's kind of the deal. Right. And, you know, now with the automation craze, where we're standing here automating more fucking jobs inside of our economy, and you're pushing workers out of the economy, and then you're basically, you know what I mean, putting pressure on workers at the same time, it's making, you know what I mean, shit, you know what I mean? Like it's making everything fucking fall down. So that's kind of where we are right now as a whole, if anybody followed through with all that shit, because I'm not sure I even did, to be honest with you, but that's kind of a breakdown of where we are. And this is where, you know, I mean, this libertarian mentality, which is mixed with socialism, you know, I mean, the libertarian mentality that supports socialism inside of our country is kind of failing everybody as a whole. And my argument has always been, like, do the best for the most people, right? And the best for the most people right now at the moment is to stand here and have less people inside of our country, where you can continue to have, you know what I'm saying, like fucking wages go upwards. And on top of that, with the lowering, you know, I mean, of the fucking birth rate, you're going to have more places come on the market. People get cheaper fucking shit. They'll have more fucking kids, and we can have this actually work out the way it's supposed to. You know what I'm saying? Adam Hartz, what up, man? Welcome, my brother. Nice to see you out here. Right. And that's kind of the deal. TK Mal, do you know what I mean, like, fucking understand what the hell I'm saying?
Yeah. Basically, if I were to put it in a more poetic sense, what's going on here is that we've had spring, we've had summer, and now we need to have winter to, you know, clear out all the old growth in order for us to have, you know, spring, summer, that type of thing over again. Because if you don't have the winter, then you're just going to get this like stagnant, basically dead thing going on, and eventually you'll just have wildfires, and that's not a good thing. And, you know, we haven't had a demographic winter for the country since we passed the 1965 Immigration Act, basically. And over that same time period, we've had just an unending growth of cities. Like, that's why New York is just falling the fuck apart right now, is because it is the first city to actually shrink in America in a long time. And I mean, major city, of course.
Hang on one second. Adam Hartz, if you remake that diagram, post it on Discord, tag me, and I'll put it up on the YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying? That way, like, you know what I mean, like, we have it and it's out there and everybody can understand. It'd be really appreciated if you have, you know what I mean, something decent. You know what I mean? Go ahead. I'm sorry, TK Mount. I just want to put that out there.
Oh, it's good. But yeah, as a basic type of thing, we've had cities growing for the last damn near 100 years at this point, just without end. And it's been just one-way immigration into cities and then overflow. And that we haven't had an opportunity to have an actual naturalization, I guess is the best way to put it, of our population over the last 100 years, just because we've had so much population movement that people just keep moving all the time in these weird semi-permanent houses. And it is not something that works if you're trying to actually build a society, because nomadic societies aren't very, the reason they're nomads is because they just walk off whenever they don't need to deal with anyone anymore, and you can't do that today. We're all stuck together, yet we're all always moving, so it's not a good type of situation to be in. Hey Neffel, what's up?
Hang on, wait. I gotta address something in the chat real quick. And what up, Neville? You know what I'm saying, my brother? How the fuck you doing, man?
Hey man. Yeah, man, I'm doing all right, man. Legs hurting, bitching. Been a grinding out today.
Got you, man. Diamond hands.
Also, the whole daylight savings time I gotta, fucking bullshit, man.
Yo, this is why I don't wake up in the morning. This is why I work nights. But yo, look, I gotta address this stupid shit. This is fucking the most annoying shit ever. All right, look. Okay. Yo, look, stop bitching about pro athletes. Okay. Legitimately. Okay. Like, yo, look, if you train your entire life, okay, like they've been playing that sport since they were 5. Okay. And they've dedicated their life to this. And when they finally have an opportunity, they're going to have about a 10 or 15 year window, right? Like, yo, if they have like a 10 or 15 year window where they can make money, if they make fucking, $30 million on a contract, or 100 or 200 million dollars, good for them, because the vast majority of them came out of fucking absolute poverty. Okay. And it is fucking great that money has an opportunity to trickle down. And the fact that they make that money, you should be fucking happy and proud of them, and look at them and fucking, like, legitimately every time you see them, like, pat your fucking chest and go, my nigga, good job. You know what I'm saying? One of us fucking made it. God damn it. Like, yo, stop doing that shit. Like, yo, it's so fucking annoying. Like, yo, legit. Like, yo, show love. Yo, sons of patriarchy. What up, man? Yo, fucking. Yo, and no. Like, yo, here's the thing. Soldiers, okay, are fucking cheap because they've always been cheap. There's always been millions of fucking soldiers, okay? Legitimately. Soldiers get paid what soldiers get paid to do. It is what it is. Yo, look, if soldiering was like a fucking good profession, people would do it forever. All right? Like, yo, look, all right.
There's only like a specific, being a soldier.
Wait a minute. Justin Coon, I have a series. All right, on my channel, it's a playlist. Like, you have to actually click the button, like, and like, go to my channel. All right, in my fucking playlists. All right, there's a playlist called Niccolo Machiavelli's The Art of War. Now, I know everybody goes, Sun Tzu wrote The Art of War. There's 4 arts of war. All right, legit. There's Sun Tzu's, there's Machiavelli's, there's one from Russia and another one from Sweden at one point. Okay, but Machiavelli's is amazing, where he stands here and he actually breaks down the reasons why you should not let people be fucking professional soldiers as a whole. And it'll actually, like, yo, to give you a whole fresh perspective on things. And Sons of Patriot, I don't know if I said what up. Yo, what up, my nigga? Fucking, like, yo, it is what it is. But yeah, fucking.
Should I give like a summary of it? Okay, the point of why you shouldn't have shouldn't even have professional soldiers is because it all, at the end of the day, it just becomes a fucking mercenary state. Like, depending who you pay more, all you'll get is like a band of mercenaries. Like, if soldiers do go professional, people only decide to stick with professional soldiers, you're going to get mercenaries that aren't really loyal to your country or to your people, but just to how much you're willing to pay them. And if the enemy is willing to pay more, chances are they're going to sign up for that as well. They're going to sign up for whatever is more valuable to them.
Well, it's not that. It's more along the lines like, yo, if you allow somebody to stand here and be a professional soldier, right? Like, yo, they're going to be a constant threat to your society, number one. And number two, they're going to be a constant payment that you have to make. Right. Yeah. And like, so, you know what I mean? If soldiers can't stand here and, you know what I mean, fucking, hang on a minute, I'm grabbing this link for y'all. Here, I'm going to put this in the chat right here. All right. Fucking, here we go. Right. Oh, wait. There we go. Okay. Yeah. If you click that link, that's my playlist. All right. For Niccolo Machiavelli's The Art of War. I'm breaking down the book on my channel. It is a great book. It is amazing. And like, it'll blow your fucking mind. It's a conversational piece between Artemis, who's he's a Tuscan general, and Cosimo, who is a Florentine noble. Right, a young Florentine noble that allows the young people of the day to be able to question the past. And it brings up a lot of Roman history, Greek history, Persian history, Carthaginian history, and just stands here and breaks down the reasons why you do what you do with your military as a whole from a logistical and a governmental point of view. It's fucking amazing. All right. And anybody who hasn't listened to this, and it's not The Prince, this is called fucking The Art of War. It's a whole different book. Just like Machiavelli had like fucking 17 works. He wrote plays and shit. Like there's a bunch of stuff, it's fucking highly important, right? But there's a reason why, athletes are the top 1% of people in the fucking society as far as skills are concerned, right? And it's something that we should all aspire to be, especially as young people. And it's people who you should, go, goddamn, good job for getting there and doing what you had to do. If you've ever known pro athletes, because I know pro athletes who came from my neighborhoods, they were extremely poor, but they were guys who were just driven to get it the fuck done. They were a whole different breed of human being. And I got nothing but love for all of them that makes it. And I'm fucking damn proud of anybody who fucking gets over on this system and makes some fucking money and pulls themselves out of poverty by hard work. And that's really what that is. You know what I'm saying? What skill do they provide? They provide the fucking ability of young men to be able to stand here and better themselves all across this country. It's that simple.
I don't see a problem with, just entertainment being a skill either, especially with as talented as they are. It's entertaining to watch them. I agree. I actually know a dude who he ended up being a few years older than me, but he wound up going and playing for the Knicks, the New York Knicks, and that dude was playing basketball every time I saw him. Like my entire childhood, anytime I'd see him, he was doing something with a basketball. And if he wasn't doing something with a basketball, he was doing something related to basketball. It was dumb. But, he got lucky, he kept growing, and he got to go play pro basketball. And, Justin Coon, you can joke about bread and circuses, but, man does not survive on bread alone. If you don't have entertainment, then people are going to start going absolutely fucking insane entertaining themselves, and we'll get some, Road Warrior shit.
Well, not only that, but do you have any idea the amount of NFL players and fucking, these individuals who actually have served in the military and things in this nature?
Well, there's that, and the thing that I point out is why should Evel Knievel get paid so much for doing those jumps? Well, it's because there's a solid chance that he's gonna walk around the rest of his life crippled because he did something stupid on a stunt. So if you want to see that stunt, you better pay up. It's the same type of thing with basically all sports, as pussified as football is these days. You can still end up getting crippled playing it pretty easy.
Well, here's, and Justin Coon, here's my thing. I don't really care about people beating their wives. If that's not something that, I go, oh man, that guy, fucking beats his wife. And that's his wife. I don't care. I don't know that bitch. I don't really give a shit. You know what I'm saying? I know plenty of cokeheads out here who are completely worthless. But if you're a cokehead who's a billionaire, you're supporting the local economy.
It's the only time when it's we gotta stop caring about what celebrities do with their lives, because it ultimately does meaningless. We don't pay them to get into some bullshit drama or legal problems. We pay them to make us laugh. That's what the entertainment industry is for, to make us laugh, not hear about what's going on in their lives or this guy got into trouble. I don't give a fuck about that. That's bullshit. That's not my business and concern. And I feel like the media is partly to blame. This is that the media is not doing what it's supposed to, and this has been going on for a long time. The media is just pushing nothing but mindless entertainment, trying to be entertainment when it's not supposed to be entertainment.
Well, let me say this. Let me say this too. This is highly important as well. All right, because I was an athlete when I was a kid, right? I was like a fucking super athlete as a kid and shit. I was amazing in like fucking 4 sports. And I'm always proud to see somebody who fucking makes it, right? In the end of the day, like I always want what's best for other people, right? I don't like I was raised by a guy who was in like the Nation of Islam, right? Not raised, but like he was my big homie growing up. You know what I'm saying? Like on the street, like he was the guy who went, Tom Pease, you know, you don't have to be out here doing this shit. You got a brain. You should probably be using it more than using your muscle. I was like, he's like, I know you have the ability to like get out here and get it done with all these dudes, but you're way smarter than them and you have more abilities. You should want better for yourself. Right. And this is a black nationalist looking at me, telling me this. And the thing is, in the Nation of Islam, one of the big points of it is that they want, like, one of the big, like, fucking rules in the church is that you always want what's best for your brother, right? In the end of the day, you want what's best for other people, and having what's best, wanting what's best for other people around you will have you be a better person in the end of the day, and that's fucking highly important to understand, and it's something that I think we should strive for. Right. We should all want what's best for everybody around us. And then when you see somebody around you who makes it, I don't care if you hate that motherfucker. If he's from your neck of the woods and he's fucking making it and he's doing something with himself, you should be inspired by that. You should go. I mean, that literally proves that, like, yo, there's still a fucking chance. There's still that hole in the goddamn wall that we can climb to and maybe get through someday. That's that little light at the end of the tunnel. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Dolph Bavaria. Welcome to the church. And there's a reason why I named this church this. I've been doing this probably for about now, how long have we been doing this? What, man, like 5 years now, right?
Yeah, you've been probably doing it for 5 years. I've been 4 to 5. Yeah, you've been doing it for about 5 years, as far as I know. We met about 2 years ago.
Okay. Right. First off, man, I'd like to say welcome to the motherfucker channel. You know what I'm saying? Nice to see you out here. Right. So let me click your link and hand you a motherfucking wrench because it's appreciated to see you out here. All right. So here's the mentality. This is the reason why I call this, right? It's a Dolph offense, by the way. Right. Yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, no. We're not going to say fuck Jesus. Here's how this works. All right. So the reason why I call this church this is because Jesus was not a punk and he was not a lamb. All right. And this is something that they teach you inside of the church, to stand here and to make you be subservient to your government and make you be subservient to the society as a whole. When Jesus went into Nazareth and he stood here and met up with the Galatians, he had ended up performing some miracles, or like, I mean, fucking gave a sermon or whatever, and people were chanting his name, right? He stood here and these Galatians walked up to him and they said, Jesus, we need you to tell these people to stop singing and stop, you know what I mean, making all this noise and causing a ruckus. And Jesus looked at these Galatians and he said, look, if I tell these people to be quiet, the rocks are going to sing out for me. And that had nothing to do with the rocks making noise. Literally, the translation is the rocks are going to be thrown at your face, right? And he was telling those dudes, he's like, yo, look, if I tell these people to be quiet, you're going to get stoned. You might want to walk on about your business, right? And that's highly important to understand that Jesus Christ was not a bitch made nigga, right? When he said turn the other cheek, that meant if you fucking stood, if he hit you with the other cheek, you could drag that noble off of his horse and whoop his ass, right? And it would be fully among your rights to do so as a man, because that was the law, right? That was the rule. So in the end of the day, understand something. Jesus was a revolutionary. And he wasn't a punk. And it's highly important that we understand this as men. And that's what this church has always been about.
Amen, brother. I mean, you should see some of the passages where Jesus just dished out at the Pharisees. I mean, basically when the Pharisees were I know some of the stories when basically there was like money changing on the table, and he just flipped over the table, grabbed bull, and start whipping niggas up, and he says, "Hypocrites, you snakes, you brood of vipers, how will you save yourself from being condemned to hell?" He basically says, "Yo, you better start treating the temple like a fucking temple, or I'm about to raise some hell up in this bitch." That's what.
Hang on, hold up. Like, yeah, Dolph. Like, here's the thing, right? The rule was back then that all right. So a noble could strike you with the back of his hand, which meant that, you know what I'm saying, if he could strike you in your left cheek, it will be right. And then Jesus said, then turn and give him the right. And when he tries to hit you with an open hand the other way, that was illegal for the noble to do, and you could throw him a beating. Right? That was the actual, that was the actual rule back then. Legitimately. Right? So understand, Jesus wasn't a punk. He doesn't want you to lay down and be a bitch and just get rolled over by everybody. He wanted you to be a man. You know what I'm saying? He wanted you to stand here and have respect for what his father made, which was you. And by the way, let me tell y'all something else, right? And this is highly important. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is highly important to understand, all right? This is something that, like, they're not going to tell you in the church, and I'll tell you here, all right? If Jesus was God's son, right, and we were all here, I am not, right? And, if Jesus was God's son, and we were all of God's children, and Jesus was your brother.
And that's the end of the day, yeah. We all got to look out after our brothers.
Like, man, listen, you know what I mean? Like, don't be a punk.
Yeah, I basically told Yashua this. Basically, I'm just your angrier. I'm just an angrier autistic little brother that will throw people onto the street.
I'll hit somebody with an alley biscuit at the end of the day. like, it is what it is. But anyway. Right, yeah, man. Look, every once in a while you run into one of them dudes. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, you're standing here using the Lord's name in vain. I don't care. Like,
you do realize no.
Lord,
you do realize that you do realize what the commandment actually says is you do not. Words have power. Okay, that's what it means. Words have power. When you use the name of God, you are asking a power. You're calling on a power to bear witness. It has nothing about swearing the name of God. Okay, we got the whole English language bullshit all mixed up. All right, profanity comes from profane, and it just means common, vulgar, the common folk language. To curse is to wish ill upon someone.
I live in the Commonwealth, and I'm gonna fucking speak out my common ass. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
And basically, when they say thou shalt not take the name of the Lord's God in vain, it's basically you are invoking a power to bear witness, and power you do not understand. You do not own that power. That power commands you. And that's really what it means.
Translating the Bible into common language was a mistake. You should have just kept it in Latin.
Greek, nigga, we go Greek. No, we should have kept the Greek and Hebrew. Latin was the common language.
That's fair enough. But yeah,
Aramaic.
There's just so many people who they get up their own butts with certain types of translations of the Bible, especially like that King James version.
Yeah, I try to get a Bible that's as close to the original. That's how I do it. Yeah, but and when it comes to actually understanding the Bible, better if you actually learn the languages.
Yeah, there's that, and it probably wouldn't hurt to actually talk to a priest from what's it called? One of those apostolic
churches,
like the original, like Russian Orthodox individuals who are actually pretty much as close as you're going to come to the original, individuals speaking about what the Bible was about back in the day.
Right, and I actually got into a knockdown, drag-out argument about that type of thing with No Face the other day. He thinks that all traditions are of this earth and therefore of the devil, and I'm like, You're citing the Bible when you say that, and that's kind of a tradition.
Yeah, I mean, there's the Jewish tradition, There's the Jewish tradition. There's the Greco-Roman tradition. The Bible has been all over places. Okay, especially like most of the Old Testament was written during the Babylonian captivity, and the oldest books of the Bible are actually the prophets, not the Torah. The Torah was added later. Was actually written later from oral traditions. And most of the books and chapters of the first 5 books of the Old Testament were act more like military treatises, and which would make sense. Moses served in the Egyptian military, and he was very close to the Egyptian royal family at the time. So yeah, it would make sense why it seemed like military treatises.
Oh, we got Excel here.
And this is just if Moses actually said that, because chances are there were like hundreds of other authors that wrote it after the man died.
What's up, fam?
Yo, what up, my brother? How the fuck you doing?
I saw you were streaming and figured I'd drop by so that you don't think I'm just running from you all the time.
Yo, man, it's nice to see you out. Yo, you missed the best conversation about libertarianism I probably ever had.
Well, that's what I get for being late, I guess.
I feel you. Like, we were having a conversation about fucking Hans Hermann Hoppe and fucking, John Locke and, fucking Ayn Rand and like, yo, we went over all this shit, and I was like, yo, look, like I basically came to the conclusion where I'm like, at this point, neoliberalism like fucking borrowed from, early 20th century libertarianism and put all the public debt on top of into the fucking system and securitized it. And ended up having all of us, standing here trying to have, what does it call it? Infinite growth. On that paradigm, to the point where like now we have too many goddamn people inside of our company or inside of our country driving up the cost of goddamn fucking housing and things. And we're running into like a fucking massive problem in the system due to like fucking welfare and excess fucking individuals trying to keep down the wages.
Are you saying they borrowed the convenient parts from libertarianism when it comes to economics?
Yep.
To push their agenda? Of course they did. Right? That's how this all works. They all borrow from whatever. I mean, it's like whenever I read this critical theory shit, they almost never reference scientific articles. But trust me, when they do, it's one, and it's just because it supports their predefined thesis.
Well, it's more along the lines is like they stood here and they took all this public debt and they securitized it into bonds and equities to be able to pay for, the social programs that they wanted to pay for. Right. So that they didn't have to raise taxes, but they could sit here and, bring in more people to allow for, lower wages, which kept, growth of the actual economy up, which eventually drove up, equity prices, which continue to pay for things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Completely related. Yeah. I was listening to conservative talk radio just a minute ago when I ran out to the gas station. And all of a sudden now they're talking about the national debt. Like, they only give a shit. They only care. If I was any later, he'd pop out a kid. Oh.
He said,
they only give a shit.
You know what? I made a good joke, nigga. Give me some credit, right? So like there you got your fucking credit, nigga. All right.
Yeah, but I was like, it's amazing how conservatives care about the debt when they're not in charge of it.
Right.
like when they are in charge of it, they're just like, oh wait, no, printing press go Bert.
Oh, well, fucking TK Mao apparently had to go to sleep, man. I got you. Yo, have a good night, my brother. Right, but yeah, like, I actually saw like on RT they had a fucking news article or a fucking news show cover the fact that by the time if Biden has another 4 years after this, we'll be at 74 trillion with the national debt.
Yeah, like I don't know. You can't explain to people. It's like, dude, you don't get something for nothing, right? Like, yeah. This whole idea that we're just gonna not tax anybody and we're gonna print the money out of thin air to pay for this shit. The idea that we're not gonna pay for that somehow is ludicrous. Like, we're all gonna pay for it. It's gonna affect poor and middle class people the most. Like, inflation's gonna wipe some people out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that's why like I've been heavily investing in the market.
Yeah. Just don't save dollars. Like, don't do that. I'm taking money out of my savings. Like, I'm going to keep some, right? It's always good to have some cash liquidity, but like, I don't know. I don't think you should have more than a couple grand in your bank account. Any excess savings, buy anything that's not a US dollar.
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, like, yo, don't be, you know, I mean, buying any other currency because that shit's tied to the fucking dollar is going to slip as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
so pretty much crypto or just pretty much crypto or land.
Yo, I'll be honest with you.
Land,
crypto,
like,
I have silver.
I stick by my standpoint that like investing in companies is fine. I don't think that the collapse is going to look like the 1930s. Like, our ability to produce shit globally is still pretty fucking high, but it doesn't change the fact that we're spending more than we're producing. Like, that balance can't last.
Yeah.
Right. I'm be honest with you, man. Like, I don't know how this collapse is going to look, but I know it's coming.
Yeah, it could be 6 months from now, tomorrow. It could be 10 years from now. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it could just be a slow squeeze on people, right? It could just be, man, like, I just looked at my expenditures and I didn't buy anything different than usual, and yet it cost me 20% more to do the same thing year over year. Right. And so middle-class people are going to have to start downscaling to deal with all this inflation. There will be, somewhat of a snowball effect there, right? Because if they're not able to purchase as much with their dollars, then that's going to decrease the demand of the market, affecting other areas. And yeah, like, I just think it's going to snowball into a slow crunch where most of Americans have a lower standard of living, but still pretty fucking high compared to what's historically been the standard of living of people, right? Well, I mean, back in the day, even the king shit in a bucket and threw it out the window.
Well, let me say this, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna put it like this. I'm predicting right now, like, my mentality and my thought pattern is I think real estate is gonna fucking go through the goddamn roof in the next 3 or 4 months, right? Like, I think legitimately there's no chance that fucking real estate doesn't take probably a 50% increase over the next fucking 3 or 4 months.
Maybe I should be looking at land plots that are just outside the city.
I gotta I'm planning to get like rural area myself up. Probably outside Las Vegas, maybe somewhere Boulder. Hell, I might even consider going back to Belize and buy a plot of land there.
Well, so the cool thing is if you try to gauge it kind of like outside of cities, then over time, like, just because of the creep of suburbs and growth, like in the way development works, there might become high demand for that land later down the road.
Well, here's my mentality, right? I legitimately think with all these individuals getting these fucking checks, like, there's no way the cost of rent doesn't fucking skyrocket across this country. Like, there's just no fucking way. And especially considering the fact it's springtime and people are trying to get the fuck moved and go where they want to go. Everybody I know is looking for a place right now and no one's renting.
Yeah, I mean, where I live, that's not really the case. But you live in the Northeast, it's always been like that up there.
No, it hasn't always been this way up here. Like, usually, like, you can always find a place. Right. But it is really, really hard to come by a place. And the cost of places, like, they'll post them up for like $600 or $700 a month. And then they'll get like fucking 10,000 people who come fucking trying to fucking see it. And then all of a sudden, like a week later, that same place will be on the fucking market for fucking $1,400 a month.
Yep. I mean, it sounds about right. I don't know. Like, it's kind of like rent in New York, right?
Yeah,
I think it also varies.
Well, actually,
as well.
Ironically, I bet you could find a lot of places that'll give you a good deal in New York if you're willing to live in that shithole.
Well, yeah, I mean, they done lost something like, what was it, 20% of the fucking people in there, some shit like that, and fucking left during the goddamn virus. And
mostly the people that pay taxes.
Yeah,
that's why Cuomo, who's under fire, not for murdering or being responsible for just a terrible policy that caused a whole bunch of old people to die. He's not under fire for that, but he's getting Me Too'd out of existence.
Ain't that fucking terrible?
Yeah, I don't really care. You killing old people. Yeah, we can let that one slide, but heaven forbid you're an old creepy dude hitting on younger chicks. The worst part is like you're not hearing about the people that willfully went along with it and slept with his old decrepit ass. Like you don't have a pattern of that behavior if it's not working at least some of the time.
Tell me why fucking Andrew Cuomo reminds me of the fucking reminds me of the bad guy Mask in that Jim Carrey movie.
I see the similarities, dude.
That's it, man. I think they might be related. I think he might be related to the actor. That's probably
he kind of looks like. Is that Tommy Lee Jones? Because he kind of looks like him.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're secretly related, because we all know how like really really rich fucks kind of are sort of like second cousins removed twice. How to consolidate power. It would not surprise me at all. I mean, that's how
the thing is like, here's the problem, right? You have the average credit score, I don't know what it is now, but before the coronavirus, the average credit score was like 720 on some shit, right? And that's obscene. just on some crazy shit. Like the average credit score was like 720. So everybody has good credit, and there's massive amount of people who are willing to move, and they have no problem making rent. You know what I'm saying? Like fucking half of their goddamn income. It's just all bad, like completely the whole way through. Like the whole thing's all bad. It's tax season, and on top of that, there's fucking stimulus checks coming to fuck out for $1,400 a pop. Like, man, listen, they're gonna end up having fucking rent and housing prices go through the fucking roof. It's gonna be fucking obscene, the fucking boom in housing that we're gonna fucking see. And watch, housing's gonna go up, oil's gonna go up, the whole thing's gonna crash again on some dumb shit because we didn't fix the fucking system the first time.
Well, I mean, the game politicians have been playing is just kick the can. So,
you're not wrong.
There's no way around that. Like, we're not going to be able to vote our way out of the kick the can strategy.
Yeah, we're not gonna vote our way out. We might as well have to wait till shit gets really bad, collapse, and ultimately revolution starts. That's what I'm hoping for right now.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I don't think it's going to be that hardcore.
Yeah, same. I mean, not as long as the TV stays on.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm just thinking about like really fucking poor people in America. Like, most of them still have fucking internet and flat screen TVs and cell phones.
Again, but it's all relative, right? In the end of the day,
I understand.
I went over this, right?
There's a lot of squeezing you can do before you completely overthrow the balance.
There's not, though, right? Think about it like this. All right. So if you live in the Congo, right? Like, yeah, you might only make, $600 a year or some bullshit, or fucking, $500 a year, whatever. Right. But your rent's only $150 a year. Right. And it's the same thing here. It's all just relative about shit in the end of the day. Right, the cell phone plan over there is $5 a month. Ours is $50 a month, but rent's $1,500.
Yeah, there's more dollars. Like there's more dollars chasing the same thing.
Yeah,
I understand that.
I mean, as far as I know, if you live like way up in the coast, things will be more expensive there. If you live like in bumfuck Midwest, it won't be as bad because there really isn't that much of a market to go there anymore. If you live, say, in Nevada, things are still relatively dirt cheap here. So I guess it also varies on county, geography, and of course, possibly how state laws are regulated.
Let me be honest with you, man. I think this guy got the right idea. All right, we need to invest in Pokemon cards, and you know what I'm saying, like aim for max. Cosmo got a great. That's a great one right there, legit.
Yeah,
that's
dude,
the one we need to do.
That's a real life friend of mine, dude. I'm already doing it, man. Except for it's Magic the Gathering cards. I got a closet full of sealed product.
I got like Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Still,
yo, my kid asked for that for his fucking birthday, and I told him to shut the fuck up. I told him, I said, I'm not making you into a nerd. I don't care what the fuck you're about.
Yeah,
but what if he said? But what if he said?
Probably the best thing you've ever done.
Daddy, I don't actually want to play with
recovery
the cards.
nerd here.
Keep them sealed and watch their value grow. So
no, he wants like a fucking 18-sided dice or whatever the fuck it is. I have no idea. I'm like, no, I'm not buying
those things. Those things are like what, $5, $10.
I'm not.
You get them on a game card.
No, all right. I will fucking buy him weed before I buy him fucking goddamn fucking 18-sided dice and shit. All right, it's not fun.
Man, I always pick the best time to join streams.
Yeah, you can pick the best time. I actually do have to dip out because before this, I was already talking to my friend Jared. Cosmo knows Jared. He wanted to play some League of Legends, so I said I'd play with him.
I got like regular 6-sided dice, and I use that to gamble.
Yo, I was just talking about BB yesterday, man. Fucking somebody came on stream and it sounded just like BB. And I was like, nigga, like, yo, what the fuck is good? Right? Oh, he just bounced the fuck, man. Like, I didn't like I was gonna be like, yo, man, all right, nigga, do you think? Like, yo, what up, BB, man? I was just talking about you yesterday. We were saying the dude is not as cool as you are. Legit.
Yeah. Let's see.
Doku, what up, nigga?
Yeah, chilling, man. Waiting to see what the market's got to look like on Monday because it's anybody's fucking guess.
Yo, I'm telling you, it's gonna be up.
Yeah, it's gonna be up. The question is, what's gonna be up and why?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you what's gonna be up. All right, so right now, fucking at the moment, I'm betting on GE. I'm betting on. Hang on, let me give you the list of my list of shit that I'm betting on at the moment. They're gonna be up on Monday. Hang on a second, I gotta open my thing. Take me a second. Hang on a second. I gotta fucking get into my fucking app and shit.
Yeah, dude.
Right.
Don't worry, man.
Hold up. Oh, God damn it, Dogecoin went back down. Motherfucker. All right. JNUG, Tesla, Las Vegas Sands, NASDAQ, Roblox, and EQR, which is equity residential. Right.
Oh, I know them, but they're not high on my list. They're a REIT, aren't they?
They're what?
Aren't they a REIT?
Yeah. Right. Fucking I bought them because, like, I'll be honest with you. I think real estate is gonna jump through the fucking roof in the next few months, right?
Well, there's two REITs that I own. So obviously, full disclosure, I have stock in these because I just said I own them. AG&C Investments and Stag. Those are the two that I own that are as far as REITs go. I like those two companies.
I like GE, and I also any of the fucking miners. Oh, and in Summit Motels properties.
See, out of all the ones you named, my favorite is probably GE and Las Vegas Sands. I think those are going to do really well. I would throw as a hold, I think Carnival Cruise right now is a good buy, but slightly more risky than Las Vegas Sands. I would toss MGM and also Darden Restaurants into that basket. But that's all predicated on us not being shut down for quite some time. So, but honestly, I think at this point, if you wanted to be low risk, buy any commodity except gold. Don't buy gold. That shit is so manipulated, you will get burned. You're even better off buying silver. But if you're going to buy a commodity, silver's all right. Oil's always a good bet. You'd be better off buying soybeans at this. Lumber's good. Lumber's actually really good right now. And surprisingly enough. And more people are starting to talk about it too. So lumber's actually good, and there's a lot of companies you can buy and hold that actually pay you a dividend, so you don't have to buy an ETF that directly trades in it. But again, you could buy freaking orange juice futures in this type of market, and you'll make money. It's
okay. Yo, look, Psycho. I agree with you that you should always own gold, especially right now, severely underpriced. Like severely underpriced at the moment. Gold is a sale at the second. Like legit, I would buy gold, buy physical silver. Also, if you like, legitimately buy fucking silver, goddamn fucking miners, right? Hecla mining, fucking trying to think here, who else? Because I've always been a big fan of buying silver miners, just as like an entire fucking type of mentality, right?
Well, and there's a lot of junior miners you can make a lot of money off of, but I need to point this out because a psycho brought it up. When I say buying gold in this instance, I'm talking about buying GLD. Like, don't buy paper gold. Like, if you want to own gold, buy the physical thing. Don't like. You might be able to make money trading GLD or SLV or AGQ, as I'm going to buy it and sell it 2 days from now. You can make money in that way, but if you're buying gold, buy the actual physical asset. Don't buy it because you think it's going to go up $20 tomorrow. Your money is better spent elsewhere, and you're wasting time by tying your money up into something that might not even give you a return. Don't trade GLD. It's a bad idea.
Yeah, like don't buy like you can buy gold miners. Gold miners are never a bad bet as far as things are concerned, right? But like legitimately, fucking silver's where it's at the end of the day, like because silver has demand. You know what I mean? Like in the end, like what it really is. As far as buy if you want to, I would if you could find stocks and insurance for shipping prices, shipping goods and things. Great fucking ideology. You know what I mean? Like, there's money out here to be made. The end of the day, that's where my mentality is always at. There's money out here to be made. You can goddamn do it. So like, that's kind of where I'm at right now,
Yeah, and Psych, I agree with you. Yeah, cryptos are good for day trading. I'm not fully invested in cryptos. There are things I look at occasionally. But when it comes to day trading, I trade WTI futures 2 times leveraged, and precious metals. I own the physical thing the same way I own bullets and food. It's something I'm never going to get rid of, but I don't trade it on paper.
Yeah, like as far as paper is concerned, like I will always buy goddamn silver on paper, right? Because I think silver. If you buy silver ETFs and things of this nature, it's always a good bet, right? Like for the most part, because silver has demand and it has pent up demand right now. You know what I mean? Like fucking, you can make a shit ton of money betting on that type of stuff. Like, well, not a shit ton of money, but you can most definitely make 3 to 4 or 5%. You know what I mean, on a regular basis with them. So I'm not like I always like holding goddamn silver miners and shit. They're always a great fucking bet. Like, just because demand.
I trade AGQ because anytime silver goes to around the $25, $26 range, you can usually expect it to pop back up to 27, 28. It's an easy way to make a quick 2, 3, 4, 5%. If you're really lucky, you'll make 7 to 10%. But it's never something I'm going to hold. And despite the fact that yes, I'm saying I do hold paper silver as a very short term trade, like I don't hold it longer than a week. I'm still sitting on a good amount of actual physical silver because that's my real investment. It's not there to generate money. It's not there to generate income. It's not there to generate liquidity. It's there because I know it has value. That's what I have physical silver for. And if that's what you want to buy,
same here, man. I got physical silver too. I got like before the pandemic about 3 coins to start me off with, man. Planning to get more.
3's not bad. I do suggest if you haven't done this, go to JM Bullion. You're only allowed to do this once, but you can buy 10 Buffalo rounds at spot price.
All right, jmbullion.com.
Yeah, it's a special one-time. I don't even know if they still offer it. They used to. But
let's look at silver then. Buffalo, right?
Yeah, but you should see there should be a special one-time offer where you can buy 10 1-ounce Buffalo rounds at spot. They don't even charge you markup, but you have to use an address. So I mean, if you have a summer house, you could technically do it twice. I'm not saying I have or haven't done this, but if you have that option available to you, you could potentially do that.
Will American Silver Eagles work too?
No, this is only an offer from JM Bullion from what I've seen. It's just it's just them, and you can only buy. They just give you 10 Buffalo rounds and a half tube at whatever spot is, no commission.
All right, let me say this. Let me say this too. This is important. Roblox just had a fucking IPO this week, right? I'm be honest with you. There's a lot of dumb motherfuckers getting a whole bunch of money right now. And like, yo, if you want to bet on something to go to fuck up, I think Roblox will. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I think it's going to go up. And you know what I mean? Like, yo, I think that's a spot you can make some goddamn money and shit. That's fucking my mentality. And remember, we are not investment professionals. You know what I'm saying? We're not, you know, this is all for entertainment or whatever. Right. But like, just giving our opinions about things. You know what I mean? At the end of the day.
As the saying goes, buy the rumors, sell the news. And that has been a winning strategy for quite some time.
Tesla, nigga. And Tesla, by the way, fucking like, yo, Tesla is most definitely off its fucking high and shit. You know what I mean? It was at $900 at one point. It's down to like $692. I think Tesla's a good bet.
I was going to say, Tesla had a really rough week last week. They were getting hammered every day.
Battered, legit. But yo, since, you know what I'm saying, they are up right now, or they're fucking like, yo, he just made a shit ton of money off of Bitcoin. Like, yo, I think, you know what I'm saying, he fucking should be in some good positions right now.
Well, yeah, wasn't Bitcoin up like something like 22% or something last week?
Yo, fucking that shit hit 62,000.
Good Lord. That's a decent chunk of change. That's a good return.
Yo, fucking 62 goddamn thousand. That is fucking ridiculous.
What was the low they were coming off of? The last I saw it was at like 40, 42,
no,
46.
No,
the
low they were coming off of this week was like 55,000.
Okay, so and maybe it's the week prior then. I know they went down to like the mid 40K range, but still,
like, I can't fucking believe legitimately that like Bitcoin, yo, because they were talking about Bitcoin might hit 100,000, and I'm just like, what the fuck are you talking about?
And the thing is, it could don't discount psychology when it comes to markets, man. Like Tesla shouldn't be trading at the prices it trades at. I mean, we've talked about this on the streams before. But as long as people keep buying it, like, well, fuck, dude. It doesn't matter what the PE ratio is. It doesn't matter if they've only been profitable once or twice in their history. If people keep buying it and valuing it at what it is, fuck, dude. If you make money, then go ahead and buy it and then make your money and then turn around and sell it. It's my advice.
Yo, PE ratio 1,088.
Well, it's not as bad. I think the last time we talked about it was at like what 1,600, something like that. So it's it's come off a little bit from that, but I mean, still, again, if people decide to buy it, it goes back up to that range. Well, guess what? You're going to make 33%. So, shit, why not?
I mean, like, look here. Here's the thing: like equity residentials, right? Equity residentials, their PE ratio is 32.
For a REIT, that's pretty damn high. But what's their dividend?
Hang on a minute. Let me look. Fucking dividend is 3.2.
Yeah, 3.2 is not bad. I like AG&C more, just because their dividends 9% at the prices they're trading at right now, and they're kind of a wet rag, lame duck sort of stock. They're not a sexy stock, but man, they're paying you monthly 8-9% yield. They're a solid income stock, but it depends on what you're buying and what the reason for it is. Like AG&C, I'm buying for the income because it generates free money. Stag, I'm buying because like 40-50% of their real estate holdings are warehouses that are they essentially lease out to Amazon. So it's a cheap backdoor way to get access to Amazon profits.
Yeah, I'm sitting here trying to look at fucking. Why don't they have fucking? They don't have the PE ratio listed for fucking Apple, which is fucking weird. Or Twitter. It's fucking strange. Yeah, I feel like they should have that goddamn. Oh, that's why. All right, yeah, but fucking yeah, like legitimately, like I think right now, I think this week's going to be an up market for the week, especially with all these stimulus checks coming out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you. I'm just wondering where is the most money to be made? I honestly think it's in commodities, to be perfectly blunt.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. And anything that's heavily reliant upon fucking commodities is gonna be a rough buy and shit. You know what I mean? But
the one thing I'm really going to be paying attention to is specifically going to be what the spot price of gold does in relation to the 2 times leveraged JP Morgan ETFs for gold and silver. Because if those don't track like they haven't been for the past couple of weeks, there's some market manipulation going on. And I'll be blunt. The ETFs for gold and silver over the past 3 weeks have been tracking at, they normally should track at 2 times whatever the price movement is, and they're barely keeping track of 75% of the price movement. Something's going on where they're manipulating the price. I think the precious metals market is a pretty solid, at least short-term bet. They can't do this forever. And the last time they had to actually damn it, I'm trying to remember a fucking term. Forgive me if it's past midnight and I'm a little bit drunk, but but no, the last time they essentially had to bow out and they couldn't keep their short positions afloat. That's when silver went from 18, 19 bucks all the way up to 38. You could see something like that potentially in the next couple of weeks.
it's a possibility. But yo, look, man, I've been doing this for about an hour and like fucking 55 minutes at this point. I'm tired. Right. So like I'm gonna go lay down and motherfucking get some goddamn shut eye and shit because I got work tomorrow and I got things to do. But yo, look, man, Doku, Neffel, motherfucking goddamn Excel, and TK Mount. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming out. Thank you all y'all in the chat for coming out and supporting the channel. Y'all know the deal. Thank you, everybody, for hitting that Streamlabs link. It's appreciated. You know what I mean? Supporting your boy and shit. But y'all know the deal, man. I'm fucking go shut it down because I'm exhausted. All right. Yo, Doku, right. Thank you, my brother.
Take care, man.
Later, bro.
Neffel, keep pimping, my brother. Later.
You got it.